the assessor department because they weren't performing duties to have that oversight. Now that oversight's there. So obviously David helped much more than finance's oversight, but we're here to overcheck. So this comment is gone. Since the comment was made, since I've been here, that monthly entry's posted. So next year this will not be there. But during our year, prior to me, it was not being done, they make a comment. So that's comment one. Any questions about comment one? I mean, it's the same comment that was made the year before about not posting the receivable activity. So it's the carryover from the same comment of the year before. And as of now, it's being done, so there's no issue as far as questions in relation to that. I mean, yeah, do you have any questions about it? I mean, what we did, basically all I did was say, let's get this report monthly and check the revenue to make sure the subsidiary ledger matches what we collected in our general ledger, make sure the refunds that we paid out match what our Opal system, the subsidiary ledger states, and then we post an adjustment, we're done.
So you initiated the checks and balances?
Basically,
And
yeah.
have to give him kudos, he's driving this bus,
He sure is.
My team,
doing
my
a
team,
great
my
job,
staff, that's my staff too.
attentive, he's humble, and
He talks fast though.
I do,
talks a lot.
I talk a lot, I get that
But what he
complaint
says
a
is
lot.
all good stuff. Jason?
Well, I'm trying to give you the picture that, you know, we're addressing this. I mean, you can see it in fact that we went from a negative to a positive. That's one thing to look at. But it's more than that. It's the changing of the policies, the changing of these things, getting people together to buy in that, hey, we row together and we'll get there faster. I can't say enough about my staff. Everybody is bought into, I mean, everybody shows up wanting to do the right thing and trying to do the right thing for me. So, I mean, I can't appreciate it enough. But saying that, the second situation here, the water billing question, in 2000... yes, on 105.
Yep.
Sorry about the page.
No, it's okay.
Yep, as of 2012, a billing error occurred to one of our accounts. As of when I've been here, the past 3 months, that billing error is corrected. The result of looking at the history of that billing error is this potential number in bullet point number 1. We don't know what the answer is necessarily. What I do know is the comment stating that the procedure behind the billing that was missed is no longer in place. We double-checked, we matched all of the, I guess if I can explain a little bit, there's a meter size. The bigger the meter size, the bigger the pipe is, the more flow through the pipe. The assignment of the meter size in 2012, when this company was signed on, wasn't done right. So as of now, they're being charged the right amounts. But from 2012 until now, when whoever, again, it was prior to my time here, when whoever entered that pipe size into the billing system, they entered the wrong size, is simply what the answer is. So now what that does over a multi-year period is it compounds that there might be exposure here. As far as how it happened, there is no more issue. All of the pipe sizes have been matched by physical inspection. So there's nothing like this can ever come up again in the future. But prior to me being here, I guess this has been an issue for multi-years in that system. So if there's any other questions on that? Yeah, that's not the fun stuff.
No, I'm just saying, I just marvel the fact that this is simple computation error.
Well, actually, it's much, much, much more
Well-
difficult than that. When you dig into it, it's almost like turn your head and look away and hope it goes away kind of thing, but that's 2012 and I wasn't here. I got hired in 2015, so I can't really speak to that.
No, I'm just saying the fact that you had 100%, 100%,
Accuracy this time? Well,
Accuracy.
we had to, because the only way I could reply to the auditor to make them comfortable that I care and I addressed this was to perform something to prove it. So when they asked me, well, what do you do about the monthly tax entry? Here's the entries. What did you do about this situation? Here's the physical walkthrough by the water sewer inspector, marking off that the meter size is correct. That was acceptable to them when we did this bill run, that the water sewer inspector, instead of going out and reading with a gun, they went out and read with their eyes to make sure that the size was right, so that all the bills were uniform to the right size. Again, that hadn't happened prior to me. So now it has happened, so now there's no way another bill's gonna go out wrong unless a new connection happens and it's not documented properly. Under that, we've already written a procedure to make sure that 2 people sign off at that meter size. Either the superintendent, water or sewer, his assistant in his absence, and Maura. And the billing system has to double check and sign off that it was done right. So if they install a 2-inch meter, it's signed off by the person who's installed it, and it's signed off by the billing clerk to make sure it's in the system as 2-inch. If it's 4-inch, it's 4, if it, you know what I mean, whatever the size may be.
Thank you.
So has this customer come back to us, or?
Well, that's what this preliminary discussion is. That's why I mentioned it gets much tougher than that, because apparently this customer had received free water from the town for quite a few years before connecting, and then this situation happened. So I don't really know how this is gonna play out at the moment, other than we have supporting information that they took water from us from the 80s on that they didn't pay us for, and that now, from 12 on, we've overcharged them. So right now, we're in gathering information, we'll call it discovery, to use the legal term.
So we know what customer it is?
Yes, yep, and actually know a lot of information on our side about what happened. The meeting that's gonna take place with their utility superintendent, I don't think has been set up, but it's been in the works to be set up, and I'll get you an answer on when it's set up if you'd like. So we are reaching out to the customer to try to resolve this. The ultimate answer to this might come in front of you as a, you know what I mean, a decision to be made about what do we want to do, or it could come to you in front of it might be a wash. What they received versus what we charged is a nothing. We don't really know yet until all the facts are on the table. Something that's difficult about it though is this started in the 80s. I mean, we're going back almost 30 years. So I don't have all of that info, and I don't even have access to some of it to get it. So what we're compiling is best known, best understood. We know for a fact that in we'll call it 2002, whoever was billing adjusted the rate on purpose to get a result. We don't have a clue why, how, what the meaning behind it was, but if you look at user times rate equals bill, that wasn't even computable. So I mean, going back to our history, there's quite a few mistakes that they're cleaned up now, but we still have to address what happened years past to try to fix that.
I'm sure our solicitor will be involved with this.
Correct. And in fact, I've already asked him a few questions. He can't get enough of me now.
Mr. President,
Okay.
Jason, I really appreciate the work you're doing, but we've just come up on the witching hour.
All right, I'll end with this and then we can be finished.
Well, your policies, I'd like to see at a future date.
Oh, why I presented them is because I want to get the discussion going
Okay.
with formally implementing a lot of stuff, you know, whether it be charter language changes or whether it be a real fund balance policy, which protects the community in case there's a disaster, a loss of revenue. I mean, I have actually heard somebody in the town state, oh, the town's got 10 million. This report says the town has 10 million at June 30th, yes. But 3 million is for the sewer system that you can't spend. 2 million's in the school department you can't spend. $1 million's in revenue, special revenue funds you can't spend. That leaves us at June 30th with 4 million. We don't get our first tax bill till August. So for the month of July and half of August, I need that 4 million to pay operations. So you can't just say, oh, just take the 10 million you got, and instead of doing the bonds, just spend the 10 million. It's not as simple as that. You know, there's a lot more behind it, you know, to just, you know, be able to, at your whim, say, let's spend our 10 million. It's not that simple. The last one here, I'll just do quickly to put this over. Capital asset inventory. There are no issues with our records at all. The issue is that they want us to perform a full inventory of what we have, because it hasn't been done 10 years plus. Or at least nobody can actually prove when the last time a full asset inventory is done.
Do roadways factor into
Yes, they
that?
do, because it includes infrastructure, it includes everything.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is try to get the departments to do the discovery, and I'll do the legwork to match to the asset list we have. I don't know if that's gonna be enough, but that's what we're gonna start with. I reached out to a few other communities, and their response is, pay for an asset valuation. Now, I looked into that, some of those are $30,000, $40,000. I think the departments can do it with me, and we don't have to go out and spend that money. If I get to the point where I don't think I can do that, I'll come back and say, hey, look, I'm getting nowhere with this. But I mean, to match 60 vehicles to an inventory listing, to a cost estimate, to our insurance records, I should be able to do that. You know what I mean? So, just, so this is there's no issue with assets. It's just that we haven't done the physical inventory is what the comment is. I'm addressing that by saying the departments and myself are going to try to do that physical inventory this year. Hopefully, we get that far. I don't see it being an issue though, because we're talking a few pages of Excel. I mean, it's not like we're talking, I have $60 million or 60 million assets to look at. We might have 600 assets to look at. That's feasible to be done in-house, I think. So that would cover those.
Close shop.
Sorry.
No,
I'm
you don't have to
long-winded.
apologize.
No, I am.
Good job. We run out of time.
I got you.
Mr. President, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Zawinski, second by Councilwoman Alves to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye.